No more striving, no more noise. Sophia enters in stillness, a knowing older than time. She doesn't give you answers. She clears the space so you can hear your own. Let the rhythm open your inner ear, and let the silence speak louder than the sound. Everything you need is already within you. Now just listen. All right. Oh, that felt good. Welcome, love. Take a breath and arrive. You have made it to this final circle, the space of reflection, integration, and soft becoming. And before we go any further, I want to take a moment and to really drop in to um, settling in and looking at the space that you've created for yourself. And maybe in your space, you've lit a candle, maybe you've wrapped yourself in a blanket, or you're just simply sitting, being present, and focusing on your breath. But whatever it looks like, this is sacred ground. So if you haven't already, you're going to want to have your journal or your workbook close by. Make sure that you've silenced all of your distractions, as we are going to have moments of reflecting again in this final space, and to really let what's stirring find its way onto the page and into the physical realm here. But more than anything, I invite you to simply listen. Listen to your own body, listen to your own breath, and whatever arises as we move through this space together. Because it's not about doing, it's about being. So take a moment and close your eyes if that feels good, and begin to let your breath deepen, and let your body know you are safe to fully arrive here. And we open this space today not with urgency, but with reverence. We open in the devotion to the wisdom that already is alive inside of you. And so before we call in today's guide, let's take a moment to honor the path that you've walked so far on this journey. In session 1, you stood at the crossroads with Hecate, naming what no longer belongs. In session 2, you gathered back lost pieces with Isis, returning to your voice, your body, and your truth. And in session 3, you burned through false identities with Kali, releasing what was never really yours to begin with. And now, my dear, we arrive right here to this wisdom circle, to a homecoming. But take a moment to check in with yourself and notice what has shifted over the last couple weeks. What has softened? What has come alive within you? And if you would like, you're welcome to drop a word or two in the chat, or as always, holding it close to your heart. Either way, know this: your presence, whether you're joining live or the replay, matters. So thank you for showing up, and thank you for continuing to walk this path. And now you've arrived at the place where it all comes together, as this is the wisdom circle, a space of not striving, but of softening, not fixing, but of remembering. And today we call in a guide who doesn't rush, she doesn't force, she doesn't demand. Yet she reveals, she reminds, and she gently brings to the light the wisdom that has always lived with inside of you. So let's meet her now. And if you have your journal open, we are going to start on page 13 on Sophia's page. And I will bring mine up here. All right. So let's meet Sophia. Her story is ancient. And in early Gnostic traditions, Sophia was honored as the sacred feminine expression of the divine, and wisdom not as something lived and embodied. And her name in Greek means wisdom, but not the kind that comes from books or achievements. She is the soul's wisdom, the knowing that lives beneath thought, beneath words, beneath the noise. And in some stories, Sophia is the spark that birthed creation. And in others, she is the guide who brings light to the darkest places. But in all of them, she is the quiet voice calling us home. And unlike the other goddesses we've walked with, Sophia doesn't destroy or gather or burn. She reveals, she whispers, and she waits for us to listen. And she comes when we are ready to stop seeking outside of ourselves and start trusting what has lived within us always. So I want you to drop into that now. Let's drop into that together and turn inward. Turn towards the place where wisdom has always lived. So place one hand on your heart and one on your belly. And feel the gentle rise and fall of your breath. Feel your body supporting you right here, right now. And let your breath slow down. Let the external world begin to fade. And as you inhale, softly say to yourself, I trust myself. And as you exhale, release with, I walk with clarity. Inhale again, I trust myself. And then exhale with, I walk in clarity. And allow those words to move from the mind into the body. Not as just something that you say, but something that you feel, something that you remember. And take one more round of the breath at your own pace. Trust myself, and I walk with clarity. And really let that land. So we've been taught, especially as women, to trust everything but ourselves, to seek answers from the experts, systems, expectations, to override the whispers in favor of what's louder. But Sophia teaches us that your wisdom doesn't shout, your truth doesn't need proving, and your clarity lives inside your body. The question is not, am I ready? The question is, am I willing to trust what I already know? And wisdom doesn't come through striving, it comes through listening, through presence, and through embodiment. And that's what we're about to do in the next practice. So you can shift your journal to page 14 for the journaling section. And I am going to share some music here. So let's start to take this from the mind into the body, into the breath, and into the deeper knowing that lives beneath the surface. Close your eyes for a moment if that feels safe. Connecting with your breath again. Letting it soften, letting your body soften. And imagine that beneath all of the noise, the roles, the expectations, there's a quieter place inside you. A place that is always known, a place that remembers. We're not here to figure anything out. We're here to listen. Let Sophia's presence surround you. The embodiment of deep feminine wisdom. Not the voice that shouts, but the voice that whispers. Breathe, feel, and receive. And when you're ready, open your journal or your workbook. And let this be an intuitive practice. Just like in the previous sessions, there are no right words, no wrong answers, no need to edit or explain. Just let what rises come through. And you can reflect on these prompts or let your own voice speak. What am I saying yes to right now? What am I no longer willing to carry? And who am I becoming? And I will drop those into the chat if you don't have your workbook open. I'll give you a few minutes to journal on that. What am I saying yes to now? What am I no longer willing to carry? and who am I becoming? So start to finish up. If you need to make a couple bullet points and come back to later, you can certainly do that. All right, take a nice deep breath in, and when you feel ready, gently bring your pen to a rest. And trust that what needed to rise has risen, and what needed to be heard has been heard. So bring your hands back to your heart and your belly, and let the words you've written settle into your body like seeds of truth, like quiet knowing. And there's nothing more that you need to figure out. Your wisdom is already here, alive, whole, and enough. And from this place, we continue. So allowing yourself to gently arrive back into the circle. So you've walked through so much already. You've named what no longer belongs with Hecate. You've returned to your voice, to your body, your truth with Isis. You've burned through false identities with Kali, releasing what was never truly yours. And now with Sophia, you've checked in. You've touched the frequency of who you are becoming. You are envisioned. You are envisioning what you are saying yes to, what you are no longer willing to carry, and who you are ready to be. But let's take this one step deeper, because this is where most transformational work ends, at the moment of clarity. But what you've touched today is alive, and it will need your care, your attention, and your choice to grow. So I invite you to consider what might get in your way as you bring your vision forward. What old habits, stories, or patterns could pull you back towards the familiar? And most importantly, what do you need to cultivate to stay present and aligned with the woman you are becoming? And I'll drop those into the chat if you want to copy and paste them, if you want to do some more reflection on those later. And so these might look like a daily practice of checking in with your body. It could show up as saying no when you're historically saying yes. Maybe it's setting clearer boundaries or even asking for support. And here's something that I want you to remember. It's not about controlling outcomes. It's about recognizing what is within your power to choose. We call that your locus of control. And this is what you can actually influence. You can influence your thoughts, your choices, your energy, your boundaries, and your presence. But what's not in your control is other people's opinions, external validation, or the pace of someone else's journey. So the more you bring your energy and attention back to your own choices, your own alignment, the more you stay anchored in your becoming. So I invite you to ask yourself, what's one thing that you can choose to do, be, or embody to stay connected with the woman that you are becoming? Hold that close, breathe it in, write it down so that you remember. And so let's take this a little bit further, not through force, but through frequency. So I invite you to close your eyes once more, placing your hands on your heart or your belly or wherever you're feeling called. Let your breath settle. And now bring to mind one shift, one desire, one new way of being that has come through for you during this journey. Maybe it's speaking your truth with more ease, honoring your boundaries, trusting your intuition, releasing an old identity. Whatever it is, just see it clearly in your mind's eye. And now start to see the current challenge or obstacle that could arise, that could get in the way. The habit, the story, the fear, the pull back towards the familiar. And see it and acknowledge it. No judgment, just truth. And now begin to imagine the solution. The version of you who meets this challenge differently, who stops reacting and starts responding and reflecting after a pause. See her and feel her in your body. Really connect with her. What does she do? How does she move through the challenge, through the obstacle? What choice does she make? And feel the satisfaction, the freedom, the groundedness of this already being done. It's not out there, it's already alive inside of you. Really feel into it and connect to it. And now begin to expand this vision even further. Imagine how this shift, this becoming, not only changes your life, but how it ripples out to others. How does it affect your family, your community, the other women who witness your becoming and then remember their own? And deeply feel into the gratitude, the joy, the freedom. And anchor it into your body deeply. This is not something you're trying to get to. It's something you're allowing yourself to become. And let this vision settle into your heart. And when you're ready, gently open your eyes. Taking a deep breath and gently bringing yourself back. And let your hands rest softly. And let the vision you've touched settle deep into your body. So before we close, I want to open the space for a few reflections from both today's session and from the journey as a whole. And so you've walked through 4 powerful gateways: naming what no longer serves, reclaiming your voice and truth, burning through those false identities, and today remembering your deep wisdom with Sophia. So I would love to hear what has shifted for you, what feels alive or clear, and what are you taking with you as you continue walking this path. So you're welcome to share in the chat. You can unmute yourself. And if you're joining in the replay, you can feel free to respond to the email that has the replay in it. I would love to know how you are going forward with your new insights. And if you choose not to share it out loud, I invite you to hold your own reflection quietly within, because every shift matters, every yes matters, and every part of your becoming is sacred. Karin says she's taking all 4 goddesses with her, Sophia especially. That's beautiful. Thank you for sharing. Yes, each one has powerful medicine and wisdom, but I think by far the Sophia Wisdom Circle is by far my favorite because it just brings everything in that integration. So as we come to a close of this sacred series, I want to remind you that what you've touched here is just the beginning of a deeper unfolding, the first steps of a journey back to yourself. And the truth is that real transformation begins when you take what you've awakened here and you begin to live it. You begin to embody it. You begin to walk with it in the real, beautiful messiness of your life. And you don't have to walk it alone. And that's why I've created my Ignite Your Spirit Call, which is a private sacred space for women who are ready to break through the patterns and blocks that keep them looping in their old stories. For women who are ready to receive deep energetic healing and personalized guidance. Women who are ready to reconnect with their intuitive power, their soul's truth, and their next becoming. And also for the women who want to anchor the woman that they are becoming into every area of their life: relationships, work, into their purpose, into their joy. And this isn't just another program or more information. This is where the real integration and embodiment happen. So if your heart is whispering yes, even a quiet yes, I'm dropping the link to the booking link in the chat where you can schedule a call. And I have a special gift as well that if you schedule that within the next 72 hours, I have a reclamation ritual audio recording for you. It's a practice for you to keep your becoming alive and nourished. And there's no pressure. This is just a sacred space to explore what's next for you. And so, however this series has met you, whether you're ready to go deeper or simply allowing what's already shifted to continue unfolding, know this: you are already on the path. Your becoming is not something you have to chase, it's something you're already living, breath by breath, choice by choice, moment by moment. And this circle, this sacred space we've shared, is now a part of you. So let's close this circle together just as we began, bringing your hands to your heart or your belly or wherever your body calls. Take one more breath in and repeat softly to yourself: I honor my voice. I trust my knowing, and I say yes to what is mine. The goddess was never out there. She has always lived within you. So thank you so much for walking this path, for showing up, for your vulnerability, and for saying yes to your becoming. May you rise, may you reclaim, may you walk with grace, grit, and gold. And until our next sacred yes, I see you, I trust you, and I walk with you. Take care and be well. I look forward to connecting with you soon.